Welcome to another episode of the Shredder Show. Today, it's a pleasure to have a great friend, Adolfo Tex, on the podcast and video that's on YouTube. So if you're checking it out on YouTube, Adolfo, funny enough, is with surname Tex. Is actually in Texas, is in Houston at the moment, which we were just briefly talking about. How's your initial experience of Houston?
Actually, it's my second time
Okay.
living in the United States. My first time was actually in Miami before. And I honestly think it's so good here in Houston. I didn't have high expectations, honestly. I came here mostly because now I'm focused on creating content for social media, and because my niche is fitness, just like yours. Houston was the perfect place to go. There were so many fitness YouTubers here, all training in the same gym. And I'm like, Houston seems like a boring city, but I'm just going to go there for a few months, put my head down and grind creating content. And I was surprised that it's not just about that. There are so many good day parties, nature to visit. There's nice nature here as well. The people here are amazing. Texas people are amazing. So yeah, honestly, I really like it here. And yeah, I'm considering, staying more the time than I actually intended to.
Yeah, I actually went to Houston maybe like 2, 3 years ago. So I went over and trained a client who won a Shred and 8 competition, Eric Rodriguez, actually the old Alpha Elite gym.
Okay.
So that was pretty sick. And actually, ironically, talking about how nice people are in Houston, I remember my flight on the way back was cancelled because of the storm or something. And one of my clients put me and my friend, videographer, up for the night. We stayed with them and they took us for dinner and stuff. Like, people from Houston are super friendly. And also, it actually probably has my favorite Mexican restaurant in the world, Papacitas. So if you haven't been there yet, Adolfo, you need to go there. It's insane.
Not yet. Not yet.
But that's a must go. So but myself and Adolfo, we obviously met in Dubai. So Adolfo was living out there for a little while. You're originally from Portugal. So tell us a little bit maybe about how you went from being in Portugal to now traveling the world and being like a fitness trainer and obviously fitness influencer with what you do with content.
Mm-hmm. So I guess to start, I'm going to go all the way back to when I was, a teenager in high school. I was very different from what I was now. And I never thought I would be one day, being like a digital nomad and living in different parts of the world and all of this travel and stuff. Like, I never thought so. And I always thought I would have like a 9 to 5 and all of that stuff. But luckily, when I got kind of like in a self-development journey back in like 2014, 15, after a breakup, I decided like to work on myself, start reading self-development groups, join masterminds, to meet like, higher-minded individuals. And I was lucky that on my little town in Portugal, it was named Porto, I was able to meet a few people that were kind of in the same journey as me on kind of this self-development journey. And we kind of grew together. Back then I was in college, and all of us, we started like doing our little online businesses. And I started actually with graphic design, or the graphic design freelancing online while I was in college. So that was kind of my segue into this whole location independent thing, was this like freelancing online with graphic design. And this was back in like 2016, when I was, starting out. I was in my second year of college. And then, time went by, and, like when you figure out your location independent, you're like, what am I doing in this little town? Like, I could be anywhere. So yeah, 2018 was my first time living abroad. I went 1 month to Barcelona with a couple of friends. It was literally as soon as I finished college in 2018, I was like, first thing, a few days after I finished, let's go to Barcelona. So I went to Barcelona with a few friends, which was relatively near my home. I'm from Portugal, and Barcelona is like a 2-hour flight. So I was in Barcelona for a month, and I kind of was not living with the standard of living I wanted to, because I started my business 2 years prior, but like I was still not making the revenue I wanted to. So I was living like in a shitty apartment in Barcelona. So I decided like, nah, I'm going back to Portugal. I'm going to put my head down, make some money for some time. And then when I'm good, I'm gonna get back on this traveling thing. I never wanted to be this broke Bali influencer that's living like, you know what I mean, like that has no money, but like lives a broke lifestyle with a mattress on the floor. No, I never wanted this. For that, I prefer to be on like on my little town. No, I wanted to make some money, so I went back to Portugal. 2018, 19, I was just grinding on the graphic design thing, and then 2020. In the beginning, I was actually starting to do, quite good. And I remember back then I was living with my two best friends actually. And I remember this was actually still in before 2020. It was ending on 2019 around Christmas time. Just such a coincidence because both of my best friends that started this self-development journey with me, this online business journey with me, both of them in the same month, they got an opportunity to travel somewhere else, for different reasons. One of them got kind of a mentor in his niche. He was doing like Facebook ads, and he met this guy that was also doing like a similar kind of business, but it was like way ahead, doing like 6 figures a month and stuff. And so he met him in like an entrepreneur event, and he invited him, yo, I'm going to Brazil with a couple of lads, and I need someone to go with us that speaks Portuguese. We're going to rent this big villa for like 5 or 6 months. So we want someone, you want to come with us? And my friend was like, whoa, like I got this guy that can mentor me in business and stuff. Like he's making way more money than me. I'm down. So my friend, took the opportunity, and then my other best friend got kind of a similar opportunity, but to go to Colombia. So one of them was going to Brazil and the other one to Colombia. And I was in Portugal, bro, and it was winter. It was super cold. And I'm like, damn, my two best friends are going somewhere tropical. And, I'm going to stay here in this cold winter. I was kind of sad, like your best friends are going to leave, and I was going to stay there. And I was kind of sad. And this was like right before Christmas, 2019. And then one of my best friends, one of these two, he actually sent me a message. He was like, yo, I'm part of this entrepreneur group. And I wasn't part of that group, but he was. And he sent me a screenshot from a post in the group. And there was a guy that was a common, I mean, I couldn't say it was a close friend, but we both knew him. Because, like in this entrepreneur world, like everyone knows like online and stuff. Sometimes you don't even know someone in person, but you know them from online. So there was a guy that we knew that was also super successful. He was like also either making 6 figures a month or close to it. Super successful guy. And he made a post like, yo, I'm going to Cancun next month. And I was supposed to go with my girlfriend, but I broke up with her. So I'm looking for someone, that's doing fairly well in his online business to share an apartment with in Cancun. And I remember the post had like high engagement. A lot of people were interested because the guy was kind of like well known in her little, niche of like online entrepreneurs and stuff like that. And there was a lot of people interested in going. And I was thinking like, damn, like, yeah, like maybe this is a good opportunity, like having someone that's making like way, that's doing so well in online business, can, knows about sales, knows about like marketing, all of that. Like this can be a good opportunity, even though it was like way out of my comfort zone. I was like, this can be a good opportunity. But like there was so many people applying because there was a lot of people commenting on the post, and the guy asked, you'll shoot me a message and tell me why I should, choose you to come with me. And it was like literally like dozens of people like engaging. And yeah, I was like, okay, I'm gonna shoot my shot. So actually, instead of writing, I actually filmed the video, like explaining like, yo, I've been doing online business for like 4 years and this and that. I was explaining like why he should, choose me. And I tried to go a little bit outside of business as well. I was like, yo, I also know how to have fun, like if we can go like visit around Cancun, visit, like the historical things in Mexico and all of that. Like we can also do fun stuff. And I also can speak Spanish, so I can help you like if you need help with the girls instead if they don't speak English. I was trying like to, like not be just business.
Play all angles.
Yeah. So, but I sent the video, and I remember that it was actually Christmas morning, and I received a message from him like, yo, let's go to Mexico. I reviewed everyone, bro. You were the best. Like, seemed like the best option. Let's go to Mexico. So yeah, that was like when I really started this whole like traveling thing. And this trip to Mexico changed my life because he knew that guy was close friends with a fairly big fitness influencer. Maybe you know him, Mario Tomic.
Yeah, I know the name.
Yeah, so he was close friends with Mario Tomic, and I was watching Mario Tomic for years before, and like we started going out for dinners and stuff, and eventually, Mario started joining us for dinners, and I was like kind of nervous, meeting like a fitness influencer for the first time, like a big fitness influencer and stuff like that. And it was like this realization, like he's just a human like me, it's not like this big thing. It's just a human. It was like super interesting guy, super cool dude, but it was just a human after all. And when I had this business, when I was doing the graphic design thing, I was always into fitness. I always loved gym since I was like, I don't know, 16, 17 years old. I always loved it. But I always had this misconception in my mind that people that did fitness for a living was just broke people. I always had this misconception because I always thought this for some reason. I had this bad belief in my mind. And then when I started like, interacting with Mario and stuff, and it was like also very business minded. I was like, whoa, like this guy actually it's not just fitness. He's very like business minded as well. And I really like that. And so that, maybe it opened up in my mind, like, maybe I could actually do this fitness thing, like I like the graphic design, but fitness was always like my true passion. I just didn't thought I could make like, have the lifestyle I wanted, and like monetary wise and career wise, I just never thought I could make it. But after I saw him, I was like, no, actually, this guy is pretty damn successful. And we were working out at the same gym, me and Mario. And I remember I was thinking like, how can I get him like to work out with me? Like I was feeling kind of shy of like asking him like how to approach him, like to work out with me at the gym and stuff like that, because we were working out around the same time. And
what gym was it in Cancun?
It was Energy Fitness.
Yeah, I know.
You know what? It's such a good gym. Such a good gym. And one day I received a message from him. Actually, he DM'd me on Instagram, and I was like, "Yo, bro, do you want to work out together sometime?" And I'm like, "Yeah, bro, I'm down." And yeah, we're working out together. How it is when you start working out with someone, like between sets, you're always talking about stuff and everything like that. And it was like, talking about like the people, the hundreds of people that they helped and the transformations. And it was like, bro, like I get to help all of these people, and it's so like fulfilling. And then he was also mentioning the money he was making. and bro, he was able like to stay like in the best places. He was able to afford like living anywhere, like, you know, like the best lifestyle. And yeah, this really sparked the thing in my mind, the fitness thing in my mind. Like, okay, this is some serious shit right here. You know, this is not like something that's like just some bullshit. No, this is like actual real business. And
it removes limiting beliefs though, right? Because it's one of
yeah.
those things like people believe like you can only do X, Y, Z. And it's the same people don't think you can only, people can't lose weight because they've put a glass ceiling on it. It's like a good friend of mine, Frank, for example, has like the biggest online fitness business in the world. When I found out he does like 3-4 million a month, I was like, holy shit, that's an online coaching business. Like that's insane. And that's where people in fitness think people make no money. Like there is a lot of people who have a big problem who need to lose weight. And there's a lot of people who have got awesome solutions to help those people who are happy to pay for it.
100%. And it's one thing to listen to it online, and you can listen as many times as you want, but interacting with someone face to face, it's on another level. It's just like any limiting beliefs you have, when you see it in front of you, they're gone. And this was the case with him. So I remember in the graphic design business, I was making some good money back then. And when I started telling my friends that I was thinking of leaving the graphic design business behind and doing the just fitness, my friends said I was crazy. They were like, bro, what are you talking about? You've been doing this graphic design thing. I was focused on branding, logo design and branding. And like being modest, I was very good at it. I was getting awards from it. I was literally being featured on books and stuff like that. Just in the 4-year time span, I was already like competing with guys that were like 20 years older than me and way more experienced. I was like winning awards, you know, over them and stuff like that. So that's how at level I was. So that made the decision even harder of transitioning into fitness full time. It's not like I had nothing to do and I'm like, oh, I'm going to do fit. No, I had something very stable. And, but my passion about fitness was so big, and not just fitness. I always loved talking to the camera. I always love like having someone like filming me doing exercise, taking pictures, all of that. Like, it's not like I'm forcing myself to do this. I always loved creating content, even when it was just for fun. So that was a tough decision to be made, you know, like leaving the graphic design business behind. But these events with Mario were like February, March 2020. It was like actually when COVID was starting to hit. And it took me like 2 months. Like I remember in May or June, I made the decision, no, I'm going all in on fitness, you know, like I'm going all in. So I didn't burn the bridges right away. Obviously that wouldn't be the smart decision to do. So I was still, you know, like doing the graphic design thing. Back then I had 3 people working for me in the graphic design thing. So I was mostly focusing on the sales part, and they were like posting for me on social media and doing, you know, the actual graphic design stuff. And I was mostly focusing on the back end of the business. So I kept doing it actually until the end of 2020. But while I was doing it, at the same time, I was like filming fitness content already for social media and getting my personal trainer certification at the same time. And then, you know, in September, that's actually when I got my first client. Right after I got my certification in like August, September got my first client. It was one of my friends who was also an entrepreneur. And yeah, then, you know, like more and more people started joining my coaching. And when I started making some, you know, some decent money, I'm like, okay, now I can leave the graphic design, you know, behind. I'm going to go all in on the fitness thing.
Do you think the graphic design helps you with your content creation?
Oh, 100%, 100%. Yeah.
In what aspects? Making more creative, or thinking about how you layer content, or?
I wouldn't say even it's about creativity. I would say, right, like nowadays, we live in such an saturated world. Like you see like text everywhere, you see like so much stimulus, and any social media platform, like people are swiping, and you have like 1 second to grab their attention. And people now subconsciously, they have a very good ability to tell what is something that resembles an ad or something that, you know, like people don't trust. People just swipe. So there's so many factors that go into grabbing someone's attention on the first second that graphic design helps. You know, the clarity of the text. Does the text have a good contrast with the background so that people in 1 second can like understand what the whole video is about? Does the text seem like this is an ad, or does it seem like that this is like something casual that it just like decided to give some value to people and just made this video? Do the colors, you know, like evoke the right emotions? There is so many factors that I was fortunate to help with the graphic design thing. And I think that kind of helped me like with the whole blowing up on TikTok and stuff like that. It really helped. So it definitely, I'm definitely grateful of these years that I was like mastering the graphic design thing, because it definitely helped with social media. Yeah.
What was your biggest challenge moving into the social media world?
So the biggest thing was I actually just realized it way after I started. I honestly, I didn't know like why my posts were not like taking off. Like because I'm heavy into doing research, and when I do something, I will spend more time researching before than actually doing the thing. This is something I learned in college, something I applied in the branding, graphic design thing. That's, you know, why I won awards back then and stuff like that, because I studied the greatest people, and I backtrack everything they do to come up with a masterpiece. And that's the same thing I did for social media. Before I actually started posting, I would spend 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, just like dissecting the viral videos and why they went viral. And 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day for weeks, you know, like doing this. I think everyone that wants to become good at social media should go through this phase. And so I spent like countless hours, you know, like taking notes and dissecting, creating like playlists of videos. And when I started, I knew how to make a viral video. So, but I was like, why is this not taking off? You know, like, why is this not working? And yeah, I realized that when you're posting content in a certain language, if you're posting content in English and you're posting it from, I don't know, Portugal, your post is very unlikely to perform well. You know, I just realized this after a long time. So that's another of the reasons why now I came to Houston. It's because like when you are in another country, you have to do some tricks to, you know, for your posts to perform well. You have to, like I told you already, you have to either use a VPN or something like that. Otherwise, like the algorithm makes it really hard for you to post in a certain country in a different language from the country itself. So if you're in Dubai and the official language is, you know, Arabic, and you're posting in English, there's a minority of people that speak English there. Maybe that's just the people that you interact with in Dubai, but the majority of people, it's not these foreigners that live in Dubai. The majority of people in the Emirates speak, you know, their language. But that's the people that your posts are supposed to be shown to first before they go worldwide viral. They first go viral in the country where the post is made. So yeah, I'd say, answering your question, the biggest struggle was, you know, not living in the US or UK or something like that.
What's your like strategy, say, for example, at the moment in terms of continually keeping on top of social media? Because obviously you do really well. Like everyone should check out your YouTube channels, blowing up loads, TikTok, Instagram. Like, do you have a certain like schedule in terms of your week, in terms of the amount of time you spend researching? Is that going through YouTube, like, or just more looking at what other people are doing?
So when I back like 1.5 years ago, 2021, I was lucky to find about TikTok, and TikTok was kind of that kick-started it all for me. It was when I started blowing up and stuff. And back then, like 1.5 years ago, I kind of make this plan in my mind that the end goal was always to blow up on YouTube. But the plan is just, you know, coming. The results are just like happening now, as you've seen, like on my YouTube. Now I'm getting like 2,000 subscribers a day and stuff like that. But I was already thinking about this like 1.5 years ago, when I was, you know, starting to creating content for TikTok. So I was making content for TikTok, and I knew YouTube Shorts were going to be a big thing eventually. So I was actually creating content for TikTok, but the content I was making, I was already thinking that I was also going to post it on YouTube later. Like even if it's half a year later, 1 year later, I was already thinking of YouTube in the long run. When I was posting videos on TikTok, I was just seeing what was going. TikTok was like a place to test the videos, and then I was going to post all the best performing ones on YouTube. So last year, 2021, I created so much content that now on YouTube, my strategy, I just post 4 videos a day, because I have such a backlog of content from last year and all edited, prepared just to post it on YouTube, that now I just post 4 videos a day every day, and I will be able to do this for like months on YouTube, or with all the backlog content I have from that I created last year for TikTok. So yeah, that's that's my strategy now on YouTube. Just 4 videos a day, 4 YouTube Shorts a day, and yeah, you know, create some community posts, some polls, basic stuff. You know, the hard work on that regard was mostly last year, when I was creating, filming, editing. Now I still do it, but last year was crazy. I was filming and editing so much. Now, obviously, I still do it, but it's like, I don't know, I edit like a video a day now, maybe 2 videos a day. Eventually, I'm thinking of like hiring a videographer to do it for me, but for now, I'm still doing it. But last year, bro, I was editing, like filming and editing like 4 videos a day, 5. It was insane.
And it's a lot of work doing that, right? Like, how long would that take you? 4 or 5 hours?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like for filming and researching, editing, it's a job, you know. It's like it's a job, but I enjoy it. I really like it.
But I think what that is very interesting, and we'll go into our next tangent, is like shows the patience you have in that, because that's not like a short-term thinking process. That's thinking long-term. So this is an interesting question, and we'll come into like training and nutrition after this. So this is your plan now in terms of like blowing up YouTube, and then I presume we're going to then start to do longer format YouTube videos. What's next after that? What's fitness business obviously going to keep wanting to grow? Do you know what you want to do after that? What's the like longer term aspirations? Because I always think that's an interesting question. So for like me, I always think in like 3 to 5 year timeframes, rather than like most people think like 3 to 6 months.
Honestly, right now, for the next couple of years, my focus is just like getting to 1 million subscribers on YouTube, so that, you know, that's when you want to impact as much people as possible. And because that's the end goal for me, you know, impact as much lives as possible. That's like what's on the top. And when you dissect like what things you can do to achieve that, the biggest one is having a big YouTube platform. So I want to get to 1 million YouTube subscribers. That's like what my mind is on right now. And right now it's short content. Eventually I want to start transitioning more into long form content, so that I can start like transferring my mindset and what's on my mind to as much people as possible, so that, you know, they can get in shape with as least effort as possible, and on an enjoyable way, and enjoy life. And eventually I want to start also helping people. Probably I'm going to very likely transition into this, like not just fitness, but I also want to teach people like how to have a well-rounded life all around. So fitness is always going to be the main thing, but I also would like to teach people, you know, like maybe how to find a purpose in life, maybe how to be like get rid of anxiety, maybe how to find like their purpose in life. I want to start making more branched out videos as well in the future. You know, like how to make money, how to find like the dream partner, because it's all things that, you know, I like reading so much and learning about people that are masters in their field. So with this self-development thing, I've learned so much over the past, you know, half decade or so. So I want to, you know, transfer this knowledge that I got from all the books and all the courses and everything. I want to transfer it to people on an entertaining and digestible way. So I see a lot of people making videos about, you know, all of these topics, but they feel so boring. You know, it's just like them in their house, like, you know, like talking to a camera. I kind of want to mix fun, you know, let's say vlogs with like during the vlogs, you're like spitting golden nuggets, like teaching people, you know, giving people's like life lessons and stuff like that. Maybe instead of doing it like in your house, like with a boring background, I don't know, maybe I'm in the middle of, you know, like the nature and with a nice waterfall behind me, and I'm like teaching them something. I don't know. But yeah, answering your question, just to help as many people as possible having like the best life and most enjoyable life they can, and helping them on an entertaining way with entertaining videos.
Yeah, I think it's providing value and entertainment at the same time. Now, talking about entertainment, obviously, you've lived in a lot of different places all over the world, and you continue, obviously, being a nomad. Where are you going next? You're going to go to Toronto?
Yeah, I'll be in Toronto. Actually, you were the one that sparked this interest to visit Toronto when we were talking in Dubai. I've been in Toronto for a month, but I'm not much of a winter person. I don't really like winters, so I won't spend, you know, the winter there. I would just say 1 month, and then I'm thinking of spending the winter in Cape Town, South Africa.
South Africa, Cape Town is literally like the most beautiful city in the world. It literally is like God made it. Like you're
You've been
like
there?
yeah. I went there like 2-3 years ago. Food's insane. Like if you like steak and stuff like that, it's nuts. People are super friendly. Like it literally is insane. You have a blast. I was actually saying to my partner the other day, I want to go back there again. So if you go there, it might give me a reason to fly there for a week or two. But 100%. So on that note, where's the best place you've been for fitness and business, and where's the least best place? I don't want to say worst.
The best is here. The best is Houston. 100% by far, by far. So I want to come back to Houston, you know, right when spring hits next year, because I just don't want to like be here when it's cold, you know, like in winter and stuff. But right when spring hits next, like, you know, March or something like that, I'll be back. You know, like I like it here so much. I want to be here like at least like 6 months a year. I think it's gonna be like probably my base here. I really like it. So here, the best by far. The worst, uh, the worst. I have to say it's probably my home country. You know, like Portugal, bro. Like just the fact that you bring your tripod to the gym, like people are gonna like be triggered by you. Like just the fact you're filming your workout, people are gonna be triggered. Just the fact that you're like offering, I don't know, like you took your personal trainer certification, people are gonna be like, you didn't went to college for this, like you shouldn't be doing this. Like, bro, it's bad. It's bad there, bro. So people just want to keep you at their level, keep you down. So that's one of the reasons I left, you know, and now I just go to visit my family and friends a couple of times a year. But even these couple of times a year that I go there, I just stay there for a few days. I try to not interact with too much people, you know, like that live there, because it's such a negative mindset that they have. And no matter how strong your mindset is, you get dragged down by that. So yeah, I have to say that that's unfortunately the worst. Yeah.
I think that's very much a European mindset, and I see that a lot across the board with it. And I think that's why actually a lot of quote unquote successful people leave Europe and go to the US, Dubai, wherever, because it's quite small minded. Have you been to Marbella out of interest?
No, I wanted, it was one of my options for summer. So it was either going to be Marbella or Houston, like we talked about this in Dubai. But the reason I chose Houston over Marbella was exactly this realization I made of, how the posts perform better when you're in the US in comparison to, to other countries.
Makes a lot of sense. I'll be in Spain in 2 weeks if you want to fly over, so you're more welcome.
Okay.
In regards to coming into training nutrition, obviously you transformed a lot over the last few years. What would you say are the two biggest things that have been the driving forces in that, in like your physique changes and also maybe like nutritional habits from where you are now to where you were before?
Can you I didn't understand the question. The two biggest driving forces for what specifically?
So like what were the two main things that changed your physique from obviously where you were before to where you are now? Obviously you're in great shape, you travel a lot, you maintain great condition. What are the two biggest things you think that have impacted that?
Okay. So the biggest one was definitely, and this is kind of a cliche answer that everyone will give, but the biggest one was definitely nutrition. So most people, they read on Men's Health magazine and all of this, and they can only see two realities: that you're either eating unhealthy stuff that it's very enjoyable, that it's very pleasurable, but you're not going to get in good shape with these foods, or eating stuff that tastes like paper and broccoli and stuff like that, and that will get you in shape. So I used to have this mindset, and I was, eating very unpleasurable food for the beginning when I was like starting to want to get in shape and stuff like that. But that was not really enjoyable, and honestly, I was not even achieving like the body I wanted, because it was so hard to stick to this diet. But when I realized that you can actually have enjoyable food that you like, but that fits the macros that you need, and you can still have also the micronutrients that you need with food that you like. When I made this realization, bro, life, it becomes so much easier. Like right now, I can be sipping on some Coca-Cola with 0 calories. Like, why didn't no one told me about this when I
just had a Fanta Zero, an orange one. It was banging.
Yeah. Why people don't talk about this? Like, why is it not mainstream? Like, I was a kid, I didn't know there was like 0 calorie Coca-Cola. And even if I heard about it, everyone would tell me, oh, but it's worse than sugar. This kind of bullshit. Like, why? So when I made this realization, life and being in shape becomes so much easier. And so that was definitely one of the biggest ones, like realizing that the best way is having enjoyable food that gets you the goals you want. That's like the middle ground, the best way. So that was the best one. The second one, the second one is also similar to the first one, but it comes to workouts. So the second one was realizing that there is exercises that I enjoy, and there is exercises that I don't enjoy. Like in all exercises, you're going to feel pain, you're going to go to failure, but some I just don't find enjoyable. For example, I don't enjoy doing deadlifts. Everyone says it's the best exercise in the world, like like it's overall so good, but I just don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy being sore for 3 or 4 days after I do it, so I don't do deadlifts. And I'm achieving my fitness goals without deadlifts. And everyone is different. Like my clients, I always like to ask them, when they join my coaching, like, yo, like, are there any exercises that like you don't really enjoy doing? In particular, are there exercises that you really like doing? For example, I really like doing lateral raises, and it happens to be beneficial because it's one of the body parts that I want to bring up the most, my side delts, and I really like doing them. So I do lateral raises like every other day. So that was other realization, like realizing that each person enjoys different exercises, and everyone needs, different stuff for them. But enjoyment, it's an important factor when you want to achieve your goals, because it's more sustainable on the long term. If you enjoy your foods, if you enjoy the exercises you're doing, it's like you go to the gym and you look forward for it. I look forward to lateral raises, to have like a shoulder pump. I look forward for it. But if I would go to the gym and shoulders, for example, I would do like upright rows, for example. I hate that shit. I don't do
shit
upright
exercise
rows
as well.
Yeah, I don't enjoy it. If I was thinking like I'm going to do shoulders, I'm going to upright rows. But I think like, no, I'm going to do side raises, and then I'm going to do Smith machine overhead press. I really like these exercises. So I'm really looking forward to do them. And it's the same for my clients. Like they really enjoy their workouts because I put such a big emphasis in enjoyment, even if it takes instead of taking like 3 months to achieve your goal, maybe it takes 3.5, 4 months. But maybe you're doing lat pull downs instead of pull-ups, whatever. But you enjoy these 3 months, and enjoyment, it's such an important factor that I think people like don't think about a lot of times. So yeah, these are my two biggest realizations, and they go hand in hand. It's everything about enjoyment.
100%. I think that should be like with everything in life as well. And I think a lot of things are, people need to realize they don't have to suffer to get what they want in life. Like, yes, you have to work hard. Yes, there's going to be some discomfort, but if you generally just like, if you fucking hate eating chicken breast, you don't have to eat chicken breast. Like, if you don't like rice, you don't have to eat rice. There's loads of other stuff you can do. There's loads of exercises you can do. And I think it's when people get so married that there's only one way to do something, there's a big issue.
Yeah.
We'll wrap that up there then, Adolfo. Where's the best place for people to connect with you, find out about you? Obviously, you've got Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Anything else?
Yeah, right now I'm also building up my Snapchat. I actually started this week because it's very popular here in the US, and apparently they're bringing up their game. I didn't use Snapchat in like, I don't know, 7 years. It was the last time I used Snapchat, but like it's popping up right now. And wherever I can bring my message, I go there. So Snapchat is popping up right now. So yeah, mostly YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat is the ones I focus on the most. The easiest way to reach out to me is on Instagram, just like shooting me a message there. I usually try to reply to everyone on Instagram. It's Adolfo Tex on all platforms. I have the same username on all platforms. So yeah.
Easy peasy. Make sure you guys go connect with Adolfo, give him a follow on all the platforms if you haven't already. In particular, check out his YouTube and TikTok, which I think are pumping a lot at the moment. If you guys find this helpful, make sure you leave us a 5-star review and subscribe to the podcast. And we'll see you next episode very, very soon.